Welcome, students. Today, the poem which we are going to study is Amanda, written by Robin Klein. My name is Priyanka. Let us begin the introduction part of the poem first of all. When it comes to introduction, the poet has expressed the views of a little girl named Amanda who is constantly pointed out by her mother for making mistakes. It happens to all of us. When we are young, when we are in our teenage, or we are young, we are toddlers, every time when we do something weird or we do something different, then we are checked by our parents. Mistakes which she considers so as they are not part of the code of good conduct laid out by the society in which we live. Because there are some norms according to which we have to behave in society or in family. If we do not do that, our parents keep on checking us continuously, they keep on reminding us. First of all, the key points of the poem. Every child feels that she or he is controlled and instructed not to do one thing or another. Children have certain habits. Their parents teach them to mend those habits. These are for their benefits only. Children have these habits because they want freedom. They want to feel naturally at home, so they do whatever they wish. Amanda is a small girl and has certain unwanted habits. She is politely asked by her mother to mend those habits, but she seems to live in her own world as she is moody. Now comes the explanation part. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. The mother is reminding the girl. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit straight, Amanda. This thing happens to all of us during our childhood. Sit straight, stop hunching your shoulders, and do not bite your nails. It happens to all of us. So, when these things are told to Amanda by her mother, what Amanda thoughts is that there is a languid emerald sea where the sole inhabitant is me, a mermaid drifting blissfully. She imagines herself on some remote emerald green sea island kind of place where she is the sole inhabitant. She is alone and she is a mermaid and she is drifting blissfully, comfortably in water. This is Amanda's thoughts. We'll see the rhyming scheme of the stanza. It is AA, BA, CCC. How? Because Amanda A, then this B, then here it is CCC. Okay? So it is AAB, then A again here Amanda, then C. Then we have repetition. Whenever the words are repeated, the figure of speech is repetition. Here we can see Amanda, 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 it is repeated. The figure of speech here is repetition. Imagery, drifting blissfully. Here Amanda is thinking herself of drifting blissfully. Here the writer is presenting a kind of image in front of us. Then another one is alliteration. Stop that slouching and sit up straight. Here we can see here stop S S S S. Okay, that is alliteration. When the consonant sounds are repeated, then that is alliteration, and when the words are repeated, that is repetition. Now we'll move to next one. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Again, next question by mother. Did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. Again here, words, Amanda, repeated here, so repetition here. Then when mother tells these things, what are Amanda's thoughts? They are, I am an orphan roaming the street. I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. The silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. She is imagining that she is an orphan girl and she is roaming in the street. Nobody is there to check her, nobody is there to stop her from doing whatever she is doing. And what else she is doing? She is making pattern with her feet on the soft dust. with her bare feet. She is bare feet. She is roaming in the street, and she is an orphan girl, and she is making inscriptions on the soft dust. It is her imagination. It is not true. It is her imagination. She is imagining. And then she says, the silence is golden, the freedom is sweet. Silence is golden means the silence which she has got when nobody is there around her to stop her from doing something, that is the golden time. Freedom is sweet, and the freedom which she has got being an orphan in her imagination, that is really sweet. Then comes the rhyme scheme first. So A, D, A, then E. Again, rhyme scheme. I hope now you have understood how to bring out the rhyme scheme of a particular stanza. Then we have assonance, use of vowel sound. Okay, when vowel sounds are repeated, that is assonance. Here we'll be watching assonance. It is thought, told, you, to, o is repeated here. So it is assonance here. Then repetition of word Amanda, as I already told you. Then metaphor, silence is golden. Silence here is compared to gold. So silence is golden here. Figure of speech is metaphor. Then freedom is sweet. Here sweet thing, sweetness is compared to freedom. Here also figure of speech is metaphor. Now we move to the next stanza. Don't eat that chocolate, Amanda. Again, the mother is telling. Remember your acne, Amanda. Will you please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda? Again, mother is reminding her of her acne, and she is telling her not to eat chocolates. And then she says, Amanda, you should look at me whenever I'm talking to you. Then these are the things told by the mother. Then what is the imagination of Amanda? What is she imagining? It is, I am Rapunzel. I have not a care. I am Rapunzel, and I do not care at all whatever people tell me. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare, and she is imagining herself living in a tower, and she is finding peace there. Tranquil here is peace. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. As in the real story, actual story of Rapunzel, what had happened, she had hung her long hair, and the prince had come with the help of that. Prince had climbed the tower. But here she is telling that I will certainly never let down my bright hair. I'll never do it so that nobody will come and disturb me there. Comes the literary device. First of all, illusion. Here, when the famous stories are related somewhere to the current thing, that is illusion. Here, the character of Rapunzel is repeated. Then comes rhyme scheme, that is A, F, A, G, G, G. A because Amanda. Then here also Amanda. So A we can give here. Then we have F, like it is changed. So F here. U is F. Then we have A here again. Then G. Again here it is changing. Care, rare and hair. G. Then consonants. Use of sound R. When sound R is repeated here, then that is consonant. Rapunzel, I have not a care. These are consonants. Repetition, I already told you, repetition of word Amanda, that is figure of speech repetition. Then it is, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. You are always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. Then again, mother is telling, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. Stop behaving the way you are behaving, Amanda. You always so moody. You don't listen to me. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. And if anyone will listen, how I keep on telling you to behave nicely, people will think that I keep on nagging, Amanda. Figures of speech here, alliteration, repetition of consonant sound S here, and then word is repeated here, then repetition, and rhyme scheme is A, then we have B, and then A. Okay. Now quickly we'll watch the summary of the poem. This poem depicts the state of a little girl's mind who is constantly instructed about do's and don'ts by her elders. She is told not to hunch her shoulders and to sit up straight. She is told to finish her homework and tidy her room. She is forbidden from eating a chocolate that she has already eaten. But all the time, the little girl Amanda keeps dreaming of a life of freedom in the open. She dreams of mermaids in the sea, of roaming barefoot in the dusty street, and of the golden haired Rapunzel who lived alone in a high tower. She keeps on dreaming. She takes no note of what is being said to her by her mother. Then she is rebuked her for